Hello, everyone. This is Anonymous Addiction at My Truth About AA, as Bobby C sees it, and this is Bobby C. Welcome, everyone. People are going to say, what does the traditions have to do with me? I don't even go to a tradition meeting. All I do is go to a couple meetings, and hopefully I'll get a sponsor and I'll work some steps. Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to deprogram, de-occult the program of Alcoholics Anonymous and talk about the traditions. This is tradition 2. We talked about tradition 1 in the last podcast. Tradition 2. Now, in the short version, it says, for our group purpose, there is but one ultimate authority, a loving God as he may express himself in our group conscious. Our leaders are but trusted servants. Now, I'm going to break that down, and I'm going to show you how this gets into all the meetings, no matter where you go. Okay, I don't care if it's a tradition meeting, a step meeting. It's in all the meetings all around the world while you're sitting in a meeting. Mostly you're getting all this information from the traditions because, okay, so it says group purpose. So they're already labeling you. They're already giving you an identity of what the purpose of your group, which you're sitting in the meeting. So that's your group. And so the ultimate authority is God, but I'm going to show you really what the ultimate authority is AA. And it's not even AA. It's the trusted servants. And as I go on, I'll show you that the group conscious is ran and controlled by the minority, which is the controlling minority, the trusted servants, which is the elder statesman, which I say, and if you look it up, if you look up servant, trusted servant, you look up the word servant, it means it's kind of like deacon, ministers, one who works for a master, actually devoted, a helpful follower. So when they say trusted servants, what they're talking about is almost like a priest or a minister or the deacon. Actually, in the Greek and Latin meaning, it means slave. It means the word slave, literally owned by a master who called legitimate force him to work without wages, which we all are when we come into Alcoholics Anonymous. We're all volunteers. So we're working for this society called Alcoholics Anonymous for free, and we're servants. So you have the group conscious, which is controlled by the controlling minority, trusted servants, elder statesmen, which are the old timers. Okay, that's who the elder statesmen are, the old timers. They're the priests of the group with their quiet opinions, their knowledge, their humble examples, and the group inevitably turns to them for advice. I mean, go to any group, any group, go to a group conscious meeting or just sit in a group, and you'll see out of the 20 people, there's going to be 5 of them that are the controlling minority. And you'll hear the elder statesmen, which they don't want to call them bleeding deacons, the wise elder statesmen, and they're going to parrot the message. So they're actually playing the priest. They're actually the God of the meeting. They talk about the authority. In the 12 and 12, the longer version, for our group purpose, there is but one ultimate authority, a loving God as he may express himself in our group conscious. Group conscious, remember that. Our leaders are but trusted servants. Group conscious. Right in here, right in this book, it talks about the servants and how you are a servant. And this is just tradition too. To stay sober or even alive, unless he passes on to other alcoholics what was so freely given to him, he feels a spiritual and ethical compulsion. He needs other alcoholics as much as they need him. He visits preachers, doctors, editors, policemen, bartenders, and he seeks out, he recruits others, he tries to recruit others. Now, you don't even have to go to a tradition meeting. You're going to hear this in the meetings, no matter what meeting you go to. They talk about the member as a channel, a spiritual channel to a newcomer. You know, that sounds like a priest in itself. They refer to it as a group conscious. He served well. In no sense whatever can its members govern or direct the group. They are servants. And here it talks about the elder statesman. It talks about every old timer. It talks about the elder statesman again. The group inevitably turns to them for advice. They become the voice of the group conscious. In fact, these are the true voice of Alcoholics Anonymous. They do not drive by mandate, they lead by example. The well advised by its elders. So when they talk about each member of Alcoholics, for our group purpose, there is one ultimate authority, a loving God, as he may express himself in our group conscience. Period. You're talking about the control of the elder statesman, the control of the old timer, and they're passing it, they're parroting. They're parroting the words, and if they don't parrot it, and if they don't repeat and indoctrinate properly, they're going to be called bleeding deacons. Let's see, scheme. I say it's a brilliant, I define this whole thing as a brilliant control mechanism for the use of volunteerism, really. It's a deception. It's a scheme. I say it's a big scheme. It was devised years and years ago, 86 years ago, by the Rockefeller Foundation. Bill, if you think Bill and Bob did this, you better think again, because this plan is bigger than you can think of. The scheme, a large-scale systematic plan or arrangement for obtaining a particular idea into effect. A plan or a program, secret or crafty, a systematic or organized configuration. And that's what the 12 steps, look, the 12 steps get the mind, the 12 traditions takes the group think tank, and the 12 concepts controls the world organization. Indoctrination, the process of teaching a person or group to accept a set of beliefs, principles, uncritically, without criticizing or thinking. Indoctrination, principles. Whose principles? When they talk about principles, they're talking about Alcoholics Anonymous 12, 12, and 12. That's the principles that they're talking about. That's probably enough on tradition 2 today. Just remember that the elder statesman, the one that's sitting back there, the old timer that's sitting back there, you watch people look at them. You watch people ask for their advice. They're the controlling minority. They're the gods. They're the priests. I don't care if you go to a tradition meeting or not. You're gonna be osmosisly indoctrinated with the traditions, because they're going to parrot all the traditions. Because go to a tradition meeting, I'd say there's 20 people there. There's going to be about 4 people that sound like priests. They make the program and that tradition sound so perfect, and they're always going back into 86 years ago. They'll talk about Silkworth, Dr. Silkworth. They'll talk about Dr. Bob and Bill. They'll talk about stuff that happened 86 years ago, and they make it sound so convincing that they almost sound like a priest or a deacon. You know, I was just at one Zoom meeting, I went just to listen on one of the traditions the other day, and I was blown away. There was 3 people that controlled the whole agenda and the whole movement of the meeting. And if you were to listen to it, it was eloquent. I mean, the one lady, I mean, she was like, oh, wow, this sounds perfect, you know. So be careful now. I'm going to sign off. Next one I'm going to do tradition 3. So you could catch me and catch Monica Richardson, Leaving AA. She has a couple other deprogramming programs on Facebook. So check out Anonymous Addiction. Don't forget to subscribe and like. And check out Monica Richardson's deprogramming podcast and all the wonderful things she's been doing throughout the years. So I'm going to sign off. We'll see you all next tradition 3. I'm going to be doing it pretty quick. Stay tuned for Joey C and Bobby C on Alcoholics Anonymous Deprogramming Podcast. We're going to be doing 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we'll see you later. Bye-bye.